My Gavan and Melanine, and well met indeed. I am Arakir Galadirthan, the head of the modding team behind Divide and Conquer, and welcome back to Divide and Conquer as we continue on as the Easterlings of Rhûn. We are actually at the point where we're pretty much dealing, or wrapping up, I should say, Dorwinion. Dorwinion have been beaten back by our armies numerous times, and we are now moving in to seal what we hope to be a killing blow by holding Saint-Anouilh. And moving Dagan into Othelbed to really cripple the Dorwinion forces. Now what we do need to do, just in case we do lose Saint-Anouilh, is to finally commemorate he who has gone so far very unsung. And I'm afraid until I break and use the internet, I can't remember what the keyboard command is for a U with an umlaut above it. So Rukar something is going to be the name of this castle. Now, I don't really want to use Sindarin because Eastlings don't use Sindarin. We don't know anything about the Easterling language. I'm going to go with... I'm going to make a word up that just happens to flow quite nicely after the word Rukar, and I'm going to call it Rakamand. Because that flows off the tongue. And we don't know anything about what the Easterlings speak. It's not. I don't. Ooh, we might know bits and bobs. I'm going to end the term. I'm not sure if it's known that they speak Westron or if they have their own language. I'm not too sure. I'm afraid. But I'm now also not speaking because I'm just thinking about the turn and how long it takes. I know I go on about this way too much, but I really can't stand the lengthy turn times. But I think this one's not too bad. I think we're coming in around 30 seconds with that, maybe. Maybe a little more. Who knows? From yesterday's question about what would you like the garrison script to be, to basically be, would you like it to be the free upkeep with some bits and bobs, then being able to train the garrison unit with really high upkeep, or would you like it the way that it currently is? And almost overwhelmingly, the support is for it to remain exactly as it currently is. With the garrison script, because the debilitating feature that the AI just does not defend settlements well enough, and even if it gets free upkeep, it does not use them. So it becomes a huge weakness for the AI if you give them free upkeep as their way of defending themselves. Ah, the first welcoming of our elites. Strondost, you are going to be used to rebuild our army, our glorious army. So we're going to take away those two things. Get an archer range because we get Lugnarun. Yes, we do. And I will take a stables after that. Then you can build me a mining network and a port. But in the meantime, you're going to be our recruitment center. They did not attack us. Rukar is allowed to leave. And Zartoshi can go within one tile of Rukarmand, where we can retrain troops. Oh, we can build a longboat. Where's the dock? Oh, up there. Yeah. Go on then, let's get some naval supremacy. No, don't retrain them, retrain those. Oh, they're not retraining training, are they? Because we don't have enough cultural support here. As Dagan progresses on his way north, build me a tower there, see if you can see more a little bit. Off you go. In the south, of course, we are totally safe because we have yet to turn against our great overlord. Oh, and there's Gimli. He went all the way around. What on earth was he doing?
Tomorrow's journey awaits.
Well, stay on that bridge then, Margos. Hold on.
I'll rip off your
Yeah, he can't get there in time. And we can move a whole turn. Soon we can move even more in 3 turns. Get some ballistae out as well. Perfect. Now, I must confess that my mind is very much in 2 places at the moment because I've now completed the 3rd book of the Horus Heresy and I've now moved on to the Flight of the Eisenstein, 4th book. But more so than that, I've been doing an awful lot of reading around the subject matter on the Lexicanum, which I prefer to the Warhammer Wiki on the website, the Lexicanum. And I'm so totally invested at the moment in Warhammer 40,000. The lore behind it all is so fascinating. And I have a burning desire to talk about it. But I realise that we're a very Lord of the Rings focused channel. And I am, of course, I should be just narrating what I'm currently doing, which is something I frequently fail to do. Just talk about other stuff, you know, kind of bits and bobs that are on your mind. Once we've dealt with Dorwinion, then we can easily move and crush these dwarven scum. Get that so we get another free upkeep. Oh, we've got so much money. We've literally got money coming out of everything. Get another temple. Sartoshi can join them. And you can all be retrained as well. And Rukar, the Bastion, makes it to Strondos, where he will be ready to command our new legions. Speaking of, we can actually train good stuff. Or just troops, really, at the moment. Once the Masons Guild House is complete, I'll get barracks here. Oh, wow, look how much we can get from that. Candish Raiders, Suriat Chariots, Loki Nasrim, and they're listed twice. That's interesting. Lots of little interesting oddities coming out of this one. Let me write Rhûn at the top of the page. In Asrim. That's because I've not fixed them. I've fixed all the infantry, but not them. Sorry, you probably heard me throwing my pen down there. In Asrim ×2 stables. It's also of interesting note that we can train Candish troops out of our stables, but we also get Candish troops. Fortunately not out of the encampment. But that's really useful. Let's try and get one of them in next as well. Going all out on the military. Rubar, how good are you for military? You're all pretty much there. I haven't got a garrison quarters here. You're going to be a main 2 points against the... that's only 2 turns, we'll hold on to that. You're going military. Indeed, you've got some troops. Now, do we move off? No, because we can easily kill Captain Varim.
Rip off your head and spit down your neck.
We'll wait till he arrives and tries to besiege us. So another end turn, I believe.
How may I serve?
Still got guildsmen in that. No, you guys are not counting. Well, we don't need free upkeep, we're making so much money. I forgot to move my tower builders. A suggestion that I saw today on Total War Center and on the Discord, which I quite like, is the idea that if you play as Gondor, this is something I'm very keen to bring in. It's a minor change that will help Gondor feel harder. In an effort to make Gondor a little bit more difficult, so far the following has been implemented. If you rush Minas Morgul or the Black Gate, then scripted stack spawns, suggesting that Sauron is mustering everything to claim back these key places. Scripted stacks will spawn to take these locations back. And this is currently one of the ways that make it harder. Oh, Howin caught on his own. Yes. Can we kill Howin with what we've got? Bloody well give it a go. The other thing is that Minas Morgul now has a 1 tile width path to the northern side that Mordor will then be able to reinforce Minas Morgul if it is being besieged. Now, this may cock up the battle map, and we've yet to test it properly. But essentially, at the moment, it means that if you attack Minas Morgul, the AI is no longer trapped behind it, and they can now come forward through it. So, come forward, sorry, to its northern side, and thus assist their otherwise beleaguered colleagues. You're the actual archers, so you guys stand at the back there. Oh, no, none of that. So that will make Gondor harder. But the thing that I saw today that I'm really in favour of is that if you now play as Gondor, that will trigger a counter in the campaign script, which will then allow the AI version of Mordor to train substantially more versions or substantially more numbers of the troops it gets from the from its clan script. So at the moment, if you play as Mordor from the Black Gate, you can train a spattering of Haradrim and Runic elites. You've also got, obviously, the Candish system, where you can train your troops from Cand in Barad-dûr. But the AI doesn't use these very much. So the system is basically going to say, if you play as Gondor, then we're going to add, for Mordor, the ability to train more of these Candish, Runic, and Haradrim forces. So Mordor's early game will no longer, the AI Mordor, will no longer just consist of their absolute trash. It will now have strengthened battalions from their vassal nations, I suppose would be the word. So Gondor should become a little harder. It shouldn't become impossible. but it will become harder. And this is to reflect the fact that something we already try and reflect, that a lot of people moan about, and I've never understood why. But Gondor very much would have fallen, certainly Minas Tirith, if not all of Gondor, would have fallen had the Rohirrim and the Army of the Dead not come to their aid. These two key factors meant that Gondor survived. And it's meant to feel like that in the campaign. It's meant to feel like if you manage to succeed on your own, it is through outrageous defiance of the odds. And if you don't succeed on your own, then that's just because we've made it difficult. Now, we don't want it to be difficult artificially, like you can't build certain buildings, you don't get certain amounts of money, stuff like that. We want it to be an actual challenge, like the enemy will be strong. But hopefully not like stack spam level strong, because that would be rubbish. Stack spam is a cheap way of making the game difficult. Just speak with stainless steel. Oh, as the black bolts fly. I'm hoping that we can kill this large gathering here quite nicely. But our catapults are very inaccurate. And they are missing completely. But we're in range now. Oh, that was a good shot, but wrong location. Come on, one catapult shot in the middle here, and you've absolutely decimated their strength. Nah, it's over. Look, the catapult. Don't run in. We've also been, so far, sort of discussing what to do about... Oh, you know what we've done as well? We've only created one entranceway, which is very foolish. Very strong chance we're not going to win this now, because I've wasted my bolts on the enemy and not on the walls. We've also been discussing fire arrows in the behind the scenes. And I'm kind of a mind now to not play around with them so that they're still in the game but in a different way. But I'm kind of a mind now to just cut them completely. The main reason being, again here, the AI totally cripples itself by using fire arrows when it really should not use fire arrows. And this is because the AI cannot change a unit from its special formation. It can use special powers, like it can tell a general to use his like horn or stuff like that. But if a unit starts the battle, for example, in shield wall, the AI cannot tell it to come out of shield wall. And it's the same with fire arrows. If it starts the battle with a unit with fire arrows, it won't turn them off. And it puts the AI at a huge disadvantage. So the aim really is just to remove that massive failing of the AI. Because the fire arrows fire much slower, they're much more inaccurate, and those two things combined make them just awful. Additionally, of course, they're reasonably unrealistic fire arrows, I'm told. And it'd be nice to just make them a bit more accurate, I suppose. So Gondor is going to be made a little bit more difficult, but not substantially. Fire arrows are likely to be cut from the game altogether with... I think what I might do is... No, I will just cut them from the game altogether. Units that have poison arrows will have them turned on by default. So, fire arrows will just go, basically. I am now really thinking we're not going to win this. I think I've totally wasted my my troops' potential. It's crossbowmen still in there, but then there is actually only trash that's now stopping us. And their Thorn Guard are already out. Their men-at-arms are pretty much dead. The problem is we've got 2 units of cavalry that we're never going to be able to use now. Crossbows, have you got anything left? No. Get the Candishman up here. Use the crossbows as a last resort. Run away! The only way we're going to kill these Thorn Guard is to surround them. Which they're helping us do quite nicely. By plunging into the heart of our forces. The outcome of the town square debate as well. It's been decided. And we are looking to increase it to 5 minutes. We're not going to increase it to the 8 minutes or 10 minutes or turn it off altogether. We're going to increase it to 5 minutes. Which is actually only an increase of 1 minute. But it should just make it a little... One of the key things about the town squares, it's a cheesing factor that even I haven't used, is that you can assault a city with a unit of cavalry. And then when the AI sallies out, you run your cavalry right out to the corner of the map. It only works with villages, but you run your cavalry right out to the corner of the map. Let the AI come really, really, really close, and then run your cavalry back in as fast as you can. And then it will take the enemy the full countdown timer to get back to the town square, and they'll lose it. And then they'll lose, thus losing the whole battle. Which is an absolute joke. So that's one of the bigger factors. So that will stop that being possible. But also, I just really don't like the arbitrary nature of the town square. And I appreciate that it's a gameplay feature more than a realistic feature. But 5 minutes, I think, is a good compromise between the two. And that's a nice new banner for Dorwinion, isn't it? I mean, it's just the Dale banner with the Dorwinion symbol in the middle, but it's a nice flag. Now, Howin has actually charged at us, but the Thorn Guard are romping through that flank. We are definitely going to lose.
Only half our force remains.
We haven't even got them to half as we've charged in. And the reason we're going to lose is because I stupidly didn't create more holes in the wall, number one. Secondly, I didn't really use our siege equipment as effectively as I could. I didn't really have a chance though, I suppose. But pretty much everything is routing. We're just going to pull out. Just pull the whole army out. There's still men in there fighting. Get out! Get out! Do as you're told! There's someone still in there. Oh, they're still going. And the 3 halberdiers apparently can't be changed, so... Oh, there we are. The other 2 are coming back in.
Our army is tiring.
I don't know why. One brave lad. Charging away. They're going to get him. I was really hoping you might go back for Howin, but you're fully just routing now. It's the archers. Why do you stop when you get attacked? Run away!
We must turn the wind of battle, or we will taste ashes instead of victory.
Oh, well, of course we're going to lose. I've told everyone to run away. Just bloody bug out. For Christ's sake. No, run to the line, you stupid idiots. Oh, now they're going that way. Because that makes sense.
Curse the sun that shines on our disgrace.
There we are.
The wind of battle, or we will taste ashes instead. Death and defeat have come to sup at our table.
1,000.
Let us pray they do.
Oh my god. We are massively outgunned at the moment. We need to get our better units out. Those Thorn Guard with that final armor upgrade. I mean, that's 3 extra points of armor over what they start the game with. They're really getting up into mid-tier range now.
Moving away from the enemy walls. Noble
He
one.
came away with that with nothing. Literally nothing. Bugger. But it's alright because Rhûn has not fallen. And we got our ship.
Orders. Closing to engage.
Clear defeat.
We must retreat.
Who owns this? Dorwinion.
Orders. Orders.
Attack their port, man. Attack their port. I'm surprised they've not gone for Rhûn. Very surprised, actually. Yes, please. Yes, please. Both of those. They'll get a blacksmith in the moment and upgrade even further. Good. Good. Once you've got that, I'll take a port. Or shipwright. I'm not really bothered about military there. Some places can't be military powerhouses, and that we just have to appreciate that.
An honor to serve. Yes.
What happened with the dwarves? They've all disappeared again.
Yes, noble master. At once.
Everything you've trained, I'm taking.
We move.
Ah, bugger.
Orders.
Swap you. Swap
How may I
you.
serve?
And 44 crossbows. Swap you.
How may I serve? Separating. How may I serve? We march.
Can you train crossbows? No, you can't. But you can do it in 3 turns. That's alright. You can't train Candice units, so get those back to our capital.
We march.
The sun sets on today's journey.
And another end turn with a shameful defeat in Othelbed. That's right. We can come back with even more. Return to Bura Marrakis. Oh dear. It doesn't help as well that when I'm talking, I do totally switch off from what I'm doing. Utterly switch off. And it's, my army's become leaderless. Leaderless. There we are. I'm sure there was something else modding-wise I was going to tell you. Ah, yes, Imladris. We are discussing at the moment ways to make Imladris harder. And I will tell you all, just to gain your feedback. So this is the thing that you can really give us your opinion on if you're going forward. Currently, it's only been discussed with the beta testers. But a wider opinion is better. My current proposal for Imladris is that you start the game with, say, a half stack or a quarter stack of units. This is all for discussion. Don't take what I'm saying as what will be. This is just what is suggested. You start the game with about a quarter stack to a half stack of Imladris units. Some pretty good units, like maybe 1 or 2 elites and a spattering, and the rest are low tier. But that will be all you can then train for the majority of the game. You can train, the only unit you can train are the Dunedain from the Dunedain encampment, and a new unique unit we'd give to Imladris called Singers, or something to that effect. And basically they would be an absolutely pathetic unit with like 1 attack damage, 1 defense, 1 charge, 1 everything. But they would inspire nearby troops, like as standard. And this unit would basically just be so that you can keep garrison troops in towns that you conquer. And then you either upon the event of the barracks event, either upon the coming of the barracks event, or upon you attaining a certain number of settlements, or upon Elrond reaching certain key locations, like almost as if he's visiting Middle-earth, and on his travels he's deciding, no, I think the elves really need to pull out their finger one last time. So upon one of these key events triggering, you can then begin to unlock various stages of the elves. So in my mind at the moment I've got it as, the one that I favour at the moment is that upon Elrond arriving at certain locations, units then trickle through, and you can then train Quendi, and then you can train Tolkas's Faithful, and then you can train this, and then you can train that. And of course you'll also get the boost from Glorfindel, who will arrive at the 40th turn, something like that. And of course he'll bring with him some pretty strong elites. We have quite a nice army here with Rhûn now. Why don't you guys... No, because he's going to need to be repaired. So, Imladris will basically go down to being the ultimate army management faction. You'll get a very small army and you've got to figure out what to do with it. And of course, every single battle will see you take losses. And the point of this new system would be that every loss is really felt. Every elf that dies will never be retrained until these key events trigger. So the army that you start with cannot be retrained. And this is kind of meant to signalise, A, the fact that Imladris... I mean, we can't stick to lore because, unfortunately, Imladris even being a faction, as Knight of the North pointed out today, Imladris even being a faction is a break to the lore. It wouldn't be a faction. So, of course, once you've already ticked that box, you can go a bit further. But we can still kind of tune it to appreciate factors of the lore. And one of those key factors is that the last homely house, or Rivendell, the settlement of, is not a town. It is at best a like 3-house hamlet. There are hardly any elves living there. There's virtually enough for a strike force, a scouting force. It's not the kind of place that's going to muster thousands upon thousands of troops. Not like Gondor, where they can genuinely muster those kind of outrageous numbers. And so to reflect that small nature, your army is very small, and it's only upon the elves finally deciding that they'll stay and fight, and thus the suggestion is basically that Linden is coming to assist you as Imladris. That's kind of the way it's going. Upon them realising they're going to stay and fight, that is when you can then start training your better troops. But I'd also like it to be locked even further, so because some people have suggested about a kind of unison between Imladris and Khazad-dûm. And I'm not all that keen on that, but what I would kind of be keen on is... let's wait till the next turn to join those two together. Is some sort of system whereby your absolute elite troops, the Eldarinwe, were locked behind something even further. So your lower tier troops, your Quendi, Faithful, your Noretano, they're all kind of locked behind either your general power as a nation or the sites that Elrond has seen that have made him decide that the world needs him. But then when you try and unlock the Elder Ringway, I think they should be locked behind something else. So either, like, I don't know, an alliance with Khazad-dûm or the building of the Gwaith Myrdain, now that it's no longer a normal guild. It's not a guild anymore. It is now a standard building with just outrageously steep requirements. And I would suggest that perhaps maybe the building of the... you need to tick every other box first so that you can train all the other units first, and then on top of that you need an alliance with Khazad-dûm and you need the Gwaith Myrdain built, and with those things all together you can then train Elder Ringways. So the barracks event is basically the start of the elves' ability to even train troops, and then it's quite some time after that before you then get the elites that everyone else would then be having at that time. So Imladris' campaign would go from being what at the moment is essentially a doddle to being reasonably unique in that you'd be one of the only factions that just cannot replenish your forces. So you've got to really pick your battles. You can't afford to leave your army in a town, because if you took Goblin Town on turn 1, which almost everyone probably would do because it's a huge moneymaker, and your army would be more than big enough to take Goblin Town. But you take Goblin Town, but then you can't really risk leaving your army in there, because every time it's being besieged, it's losing elves that you can't replenish. And every elf lost is going to really be felt. Now, it's a huge departure from every other faction in the game so far, but given that Lindon is very much considered Divide and Conquer's vanilla, or base faction, if you will. So in the base game, Gondor is rather considered the kind of easy playable faction. If you don't want too much of a challenge and you just want to get to know the features, Gondor's a very good one because their size is so vast they can easily hold Harad and Mordor. But in DaC it's very much Lindon. Lindon are so easy, and we've opted now to actually just leave them as the game's easiest faction. Now what I'm going to do here is just take the best units, make sure that we've got our army filled with them, and then the clansmen can make up the rest. So for example, I'm definitely going to take the 4 archers, and then you 3 and you coming through from there go in here and get the upgrades this place offers. And then Rukar, the Bastion, goes for Karasant. The ships that I'm training over here as well, I'm going to sail Calf across. So I think what I might do is leave behind maybe a unit of Bagel Spearmen. No, I think an archer battalion to be left behind, actually. We'll leave behind a battalion of archers, and then Calf can join that army when he comes across. But I think I'm going to pretty much leave it there. So my question to you all, basically, of course, is do you like that idea for Imladris? Do you like the idea that Imladris will go from being a walk to being a real army management faction? With the added benefit, the added challenge that you've got to get to certain locations, you've got to do something. We've yet to decide really on what that is, but I'm quite in favour of a sort of Aragorn RPG kind of script, but tailored for Elrond, that basically just has you taking Elrond around the world, and I mean around the world, at the moment anyway, in my head. And this is basically Elrond seeing that the world needs him. He's already made the decision to stay. Like, in this DaC universe, Imladris is not abandoning Middle-earth straight away. It is going to stay and fight, much like Peter Jackson's decision to make the elves fight at Helm's Deep. But this time, we're going to extend it a bit more and say that Elrond, or maybe his sons, I think his sons are probably better. His sons are going to have to travel around the world, and then their final destination will be to return to Imladris and show their father what they've seen. And these... each time they visit a certain point, this is the triggering event to then a new unit becoming available. So you take them out, I don't know, to see like close to home first of all. Like you go to Isengard and see the threat of Isengard, and this unlocks the Quendi maybe. And then you go like onto Mordor and you see the threat of Mordor, and this unlocks the Tulkas' Faithful. And then you head further and you see the empire that Rhûn can become, and the elves realise they can't leave men to this evil fate. And then the Noretano become available, for example. And then once you've got all 3 of those, and then you've got an alliance with Khazad-dûm, and you've built the Gwaith Myrdain, then the Elder Ringway become available. And like that kind of stage level of creation. I don't know. Anyway, I'm talking about non-run related things. I've called them run again, because my brain really wants to call them run. Anywho, I'd be interested to hear what you have to say. But I am now going to end this and go and play PUBG with my good friend Knight of the North. And I can also promise you that as I'm so massively invested in Warhammer at the moment, tomorrow's video is going to be a multiplayer battle of Soulstorm with Titanium Wars. So if you're not into the Warhammer content, then I trust you'll enjoy your day off. If you do indeed watch every day, that's very big-headed. Watch as much or as little as you like. No pressure. But for now, and until we speak again, dear friends, Navar and Aden Penamad Melonin, and farewell.